It's week 10, day 65 of my full-time chronic pain rehabilitation journey. I'm Jason. Today I'm going to share with you the beginnings of my yoga survival guide. Contrary to popular perception, yoga is not a low-intensity exercise. But first, a status update. I am yoga sore. I took a class last night at the local gym and it kicked my butt. I'm very, very sore. I'm hurting in all three locations of my spine that usually give me problem: my neck, my middle back, and my lower back. So I'm hoping that my chiropractor and the recovery center can put Humpty Dumpty back together again. I already went. I've been icing a lot, so hopefully I will feel better tomorrow. All right. So I was testing the waters. I'm into my rehabilitation journey about in my 10th week now. So I've had 9 weeks to prepare for yoga. And I was testing the waters to see if I could handle it. And instead of just going in and putting my foot in the water, I jumped in basically with my clothes on. So that was a mistake. I actually violated my own principles and I went too fast. So slap on the wrist. Okay, I do have an improvement though that I want to share with you. My wife noticed over Easter weekend that I prepared several meals without tag teaming her. So usually I'll start preparing a bunch of stuff and then my back will hurt and I'll be like, okay, babe, I can't do anymore. You come finish. I'll go sit down. That didn't happen, which is amazing. Now, my back did hurt, but it wasn't so bad that I had to tag team my wife. So definite progress on that front. Okay, I have a tip for you before I go on to today's topic, which is related to meditation. Do not fret about having busy brain. Busy brain is when a bunch of thoughts and emotions come onto the stage of your mind while you're trying to meditate. And you don't even realize it's happened, and they stay there for a long time, and eventually you try to kick them off. And then it happens again, and again, and again. So basically they're loiterers, right? Instead of worrying about whether you have a busy brain and trying to kick these thoughts and emotions out, just try to notice sooner that they're there and gently usher them off the stage a little bit faster than usual. So you don't have to worry too much about whether they come back or not and how often they appear. Just notice that they're there and kind of help them back off the stage. That's about where I'm at now. I can go maybe 30 to 45 seconds without some kind of a thought or emotion coming into my brain. Sometimes I'm unaware of it. Sometimes it just sneaks on. But I consider that progress because I notice the thoughts faster and I kick them off quicker. All right, on to today's topic. So here's my basic beginner's yoga survival guide. And the first article of faith of this guide is that yoga is not for beginners. It is actually a high intensity workout that requires strength, balance, endurance, breath control, and probably a bunch of other stuff I'm forgetting to even mention right now. So when I first started preparing to do my chronic pain rehabilitation journey, I thought, I'll go to my physical therapist, get hot lasered in the morning, and go do hot yoga every day and just keep doing it and see if I can survive it. It was a horrible plan. Why? Because yoga actually needs to be at the end of my chronic pain rehabilitation journey, not the beginning. I actually find it to be more intense than weightlifting, believe it or not. And it requires, again, a lot more skills to pull off. And if you haven't ever done an hour of yoga, go do it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But be forewarned, it is not for the faint of heart. It is not for the unprepared. And despite my several months of training, I was not prepared. So if I had to do it over again, what would I do differently? Well, first of all, I wouldn't take a class, because when you're in a class, unless it says beginner's yoga, and even then beware, it's probably not for beginners. And mine wasn't. It was called flow yoga. I don't even know what that means, but it kicked my butt. Those classes at the gym typically appeal to more advanced users. So even though you're a beginner and they may try to show you, less intense versions of the poses, if you're going for a long period of time, like an hour, it's still going to kick your butt. And you're going to might succumb to peer pressure, right? You're going to see everyone around you bending a little bit more. Some women twist into pretzels, and you don't even know how that's humanly possible, but they do it. It might make you or encourage you to go a little too far, too fast. And so you probably want to avoid the peer pressure and, again, a class that's really geared towards people that already know what they're doing and are more advanced. So what would I do instead? Well, here's what I'm going to do instead. So starting, not tonight, I'm going to take today off because I'm hurting. Starting tomorrow night, I'm going to get with my wife. We're going to find a beginning yoga routine on YouTube, and we're going to spend 15 minutes max, not an hour, and do some basic poses. And we're going to do the same routine over and over and over again. That's another problem with classes. Depending on the instructor, the poses they're going to put you in are going to vary every class. So there's no real consistency there. But with YouTube, you can control exactly how long, how intense, and which poses are going to be presented to you each night so they can be consistent. And the last part of my survival guide, again, a beginning survival guide, I'm not really a yoga expert yet, is to adapt the poses to your needs. So I already know I have a couple problems. One, I cannot flex my neck like this. I can't look at the sky without causing problems. And yoga will do that repeatedly. So I have to temper my desire to look at the ceiling or whatever it might be and just sort of keep my head forward, maybe slightly elevated, but that's it. The other thing is twisting. There's a lot of twisting in yoga, and that wrecks my middle back. So I do some twisting, but again, it's not as exaggerated or intense. It's a little bit more subdued. And even then, I gotta chill. I can't go too far. So you may have different requirements, and you'll figure it out as you're doing the poses what will aggravate you, but you're only going to be able to figure that out if you go slowly and introduce the poses maybe one at a time. If I were starting from scratch, which I probably should, I would get one pose at night and just do that pose and then see how you react to it. Can you handle it? Yes or no? If that's okay, maybe the next night add another pose, or maybe even wait a couple nights to add another pose. It depends on how cautious you want to be. But you really almost can't go too slow, but you can most surely go too fast. Fighting for your life means trying new therapies cautiously and incrementally. Going too fast can really set you back. If you find my videos helpful, please share them, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, keep fighting for your life.